Hello! I don't have any good names. Trial tubers and Twitch lawyers. And welcome back to Let's Play Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney with me, BlueAnkylo. It's time to go to court and prove that Maya did not kill her sister, and that in fact some other evil assailant is at fault. Introducing Miles Edgeworth. The court is now in session for the trial of Miss Maya Fey. The prosecution. Alright, so this is Edgeworth. We don't like him very much. The defense is ready, of course. Miles Edgeworth. And better not show any signs of weakness today, or he'll be on me in an instant. Alright. The defendant, Miss Maya Fey, was at the scene of the crime. The prosecution has evidence she committed this murder, and we have a witness who saw her do it. The prosecution sees no reason to doubt the facts of this case, Your Honor. I need like a posh British accent for him. Seems appropriate somehow. Let's begin. Prosecution calls Chief Officer Detective Gumshoe. Have I ever been to a real court? Nah. Never been called for jury duty yet. Name and profession. Dick Gumshoe, sir. Detective in charge of homicides. Homicides? Homicides. We just murder all the homes around here. Down at the precinct. Details of the murder. Ooh, we got a floor map. High tech. Yeah, I wouldn't expect court to be nearly as fun as this. The body was found by the window here. Hard to explain if you're just listening. And the cause of death? Loss of blood due to being struck by a blunt object. The murder weapon was a statue of the Thinker found next to the body. It was heavy enough to be a deadly weapon, even in a girl's hands. They're still calling it a statue, even though it's technically a clock. So now we've got access to the floor plans. You immediately arrested Maya Fey, who was found at the scene. Had hard evidence she did it. Yeah, testify about this hard evidence. Alright, here we go. Witness testimony. Maya Fey's arrest. As soon as the phone call came in, I rushed to the scene. He's got to have a good gravelly voice. I got to work on it. There were two people there already. Either that or like a Boston accent, but I'm not going to be able to pull that off. The defendant, Miss Maya Fey, and the lawyer, Mr. Phoenix Wright. I immediately arrested Miss Maya Fey. Why? We had a witness account describing her. The witness saw Miss Maya Fey at the very moment of the murder. Indeed, the very moment, you say. Very well, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. So, I can see where we're going here. You just gotta think outside the box there, Mr. Phoenix. Whoosh. Maya just threw something at me. When my sister couldn't find any contradictions in a witness's testimony, she would bluff it and press the witness on every detail. We'll be doing that a lot. The witness always slips up and says something wrong. It's worked lots of times. Alright, let's give this a try. No, Your Honor. I'm ready to go. Alright. Cross-examination. Let's see here. So, as soon as the phone call came in, he rushed to the scene. He did arrive pretty quickly, but we'll start pressing because they told me to. Who did you say you got a call from? call was from a customer at the Gatewater Hotel, right across the crime scene. That didn't accomplish much, technically, no. What's this, passing around notes? Yeah, pretty much. There were 2 people there already. Well, there's not much point pressing that, the way I see it. The defendant, Miss Maya Fey, and the lawyer, Mr. Phoenix Wright. There is nothing about that. Like, you press like one line at a time. There's nothing about that that's possibly incorrect. I immediately arrested Miss Maya Fey. He did pretty much, but we'll press him anyway. Why? We had a witness account describing her. Continue to press, but it's not doing a whole lot yet. If I heard correctly, you said you arrested her because you had hard evidence she did it. You did, yes. I heard you say it. You did say it. You said it. Exactly what about this suspicious woman in pink's claim was hard evidence? Miss May isn't suspicious, and she sure isn't pink, pal. Oh, she is. She probably wooed him over pretty well. Detective Gumshoe. Do you have any more solid proof other than her claims? Pressing has some advantages. Yes. Dang it. Sorry, I got the order of things mixed up in my testimony, Your Honor, sir. There was something I should have told you about first. So, the hard evidence. We managed to press him into rectifying it. After securing the suspect, I examined the scene of the crime with my own eyes, as he did. I found a memo written on the piece of paper next to the victim's body. Again, we are aware of this. We could have, like, hidden it, but I guess we left it out. On it, the word Maya was written clearly in blood. Seems to be correct. Lab test results showed that the blood was the victim's, although he couldn't have known that at the time. Also, there was blood found on the victim's finger, but it does seem pretty circumstantially, like, makes sense. It's not even circumstantial, it's like, whatever the opposite of that is. Literally making sense connective-wise. Before she died, the victim wrote the killer's name, or just a name. That might be a bit of a stretch. It's not a TV show, right? Well, I know what I want to press. Before we begin cross-examination, the judge has a question. Why didn't you testify about this vital piece of evidence the first time? Just, you know, he's not all that good at his job. Come on, he's not good in court. Try to be more careful. Very well, the defense may begin. Alright, round 2. Hard evidence. So, after securing the suspect, he did examine the scene with his own eyes. We're gonna leave that one for now, but, you know, it seems fair. I found a memo written on the piece of paper next to the victim's body. That is also correct. On it, the word Maya was clearly written in blood. You can press him for more details, perhaps. Do you have proof it was Mia? We do, because that's what he says next. Of course he does. He sounded pretty confident, yeah. Lab test results show the blood was the victim, so obviously that is covered. Also, there was blood found on the victim's finger. Yeah, like I said the first time through, that all seems pretty clear. Before she died, the victim wrote the killer's name. That part I'm not so sure about. Detective Gumshoe. Do you get a lot of cases where the victim actually writes the killer's name? Sure, it happens all the time in books and in the movies. This isn't a movie, detective. This is a video game being streamed and recorded on the internet for other people to watch. Like a movie. Oof. Let's talk about reality, shall we? Nah, I guess he doesn't really see this happen too often. Don't you find it a little odd that the victim would write down a name, especially the name of her own sister? Yeah, actually, you got a point, pal. Oh no! Edgeworth! Stop that! The witness' opinion in the matter is irrelevant. The facts are clear. The victim wrote down the name of the accused. The victim told us the name of her killer. Well, that's still a stretch. She did write down a name. That does not mean it was her killer. That didn't work out so well, no, Phoenix. We tried, though. That's right, what he said. Okay, so before she died, the victim wrote the killer's name. So, we talked about this a little bit earlier in the evidence collection era. It did mention that in the autopsy report, she died instantaneous. So we were a little bit unsure this is actually even possible here. Objection! Detective Gumshoe, there's one thing I want you to clarify for me here. You say that the victim, Maya Faye, not Frey, different one, different story, wrote this note, that she was accusing the defendant, Maya Faye. That's really what you're saying. It's always a lawyer trick, Gumshoe. Of course she wrote it. Who else could have? Well, I mean, the blood was hers with her fingertip, but the victim is the only person who absolutely could not have written it. This is a report from your department, Detective. Immediate death due to a blow from a blunt object. She died immediately. No butting your way out of this one, Detective. I love it when the music picks up. The defense has a point. Indeed, someone who died immediately wouldn't have had the time to write anything down. No, stop it, Edgeworth. Leave me alone. I beg your pardon, but when exactly did you obtain that autopsy report? We got it. It was the day after the murder. The day yesterday. That autopsy report is outdated. This guy and his evidence, his trickery. This is the guy with all the lawyer tricks. What? A second autopsy was reported. Yes, second autopsy report. Autopsy was performed. I can't even speak this guy's lines. I hate this guy so much. Death was almost immediate due to a blow from a blunt object. But there is a possibility the victim lived for several minutes after the blow. I received these results this morning. You should have given them to the court so that I could see them updated before we started today there. Your Honor, it's quite easy to imagine that the victim did have time to write Maya. And he bows, because he's a jerk. Damn you, Edgeworth! I should have known you'd have something up your sleeve. Look at that smug grin. Why, Mr. Wright, you look shocked. Something you want to say? You're a sham, Edgeworth. I'm a sham. The detective's a sham. You're all shams. I don't think any of these are going to accomplish very much. The detective has not been doing a very good job, though, so let's go with that. Detective Gumshoe, you're a sham. How could you give me a faulty report? Detective Gumshoe. I'm disappointed in you, handing him the wrong report like that. Well, at least we're making him very less credible after we do all of this. Yeah, the surprise witness would really help out, and the surprise evidence, all that. You're at fault, Detective. This isn't going to look good on your evaluation next month. We just got him in trouble. I submit this report to the court. Okay. So the autopsy report has been updated. Unfortunately, that kills our argument. The evidence strongly suggests the victim was identifying... I still don't agree with that, but I guess they're not going to listen to me. I suppose that's a conclusion, sure. And a bow. This isn't good. No, we didn't win that round. Next witness. Poor innocent girls. Hey, saw the murder with her own eyes. This is where it gets interesting. Oh, I pity the lawyer that has to talk to her. Alright, Miss April, May, whatever your name is. Exactly what part of her is innocent? Uh-huh. Yay! April May, at your service, wink! Oh, good. An introduction should not require any reaction from the crowd. Chat, behave yourself. The witness will refrain from wanton winking. Aww. This is not good. She's already captured the heart of every man in the court. Where were you the night of September 5th when the murder occurred? Gee, I was like in my hotel room. Teehee. Oh, I can't do her lines. There's no way. You guys just have to read these. It's terrible. The hotel is directly across from Fay & Co. Law. Big boy. This is terrible. Alright, witness testimony. Let's do this. Round 1. It was like 9 o'clock at night. I looked out the window, you know. And then, ooh, I saw a woman with long hair being attacked. The one attacking her was the mousy girl sitting in the defendant's chair. Then the woman, like, dodged to one side and ran away. But that girl, she caught up to her and she hit her. Then the woman with the long hair, she kinda slumped. The end. That's all I saw. Every little bitsy witsy. Wink. Well, I see. It's remarkably solid testimony, I guess. I don't see a need to trouble the witness any... Wait, Your Honor. What about my cross-examination? I thought this testimony was quite firm. Firm. Uh-huh. I understand you are Miss Mia Fay's understudy. Yes. You must know her techniques well. Well, we've done at least one case with her. Her cowardly way of finding tiny faults in perfectly good testimonies. Hey, how dare you? Yes. I'm cross-examining the witness. Thank you very much. I'll gladly proceed with the cross-examination. If only because I have a feeling Edgeworth doesn't want me to. She has to have some weakness. Alright, let's see here. It was like 9 at night. I looked out the window, you know. So, pretty sure that corresponds with the autopsy, right? Well, it was around 9 when she died. It doesn't actually say it on the autopsy, but I'm pretty sure that's how it went down. I don't think she's lying about that. We could press her maybe to see why she knows it was 9 o'clock, maybe. Why were you looking out the window at 9 o'clock at night? That's a good question. Why did you look out the window? Were you expecting to see something? I sort of, you know, I had a feeling. Well, I have a feeling she's trying to avoid the question. Maybe I should press a little harder. Go for it! Let's see how far I can run. Surely, you must have had a reason to look out your window at that time of night. Miles? I will badger your witness all night long if I have to. Badgering? They didn't teach me about that in law school. It's not a trivial question. I really don't think it should be allowed. And the... yeah. The poor girl. Quit picking on her. Mr. Wright, you've been warned. Oh no. This is not going so well. What about poor me? You looked out the window. What did you see next? And then, ooh, I saw a woman with long hair being attacked. Okay, hold on. The woman with long hair, this was Mia Fey. Slender, sort of, well, some people might say pretty, if that's your thing. Your thing. The one attacking her was the mousy girl sitting in the defendant's chair. How do you know she was the defendant? Well, you know. She had a girlish physique. Women know these things. Look, I just know, okay? There was only one person at the scene of the crime with a short, girlish figure. The testimony is bulletproof, Your Honor. I question the testimony. We continue to badger. Hold on a minute. That testimony stinks. What? Miss May, I'm willing to bet that you saw nothing or you're lying. She saw nothing. Did you really see the defendant at all? What's the meaning of this? Poor me! Someone tell me because I'm clueless. About this, I mean. Okay. If you had really witnessed my client Maya Fey, you would have noticed her clothes before noticing her physique, probably. No one wears clothes like this on a daily basis except her. And I'm no expert on fashion, but her hairdo looks far from normal to me. However, the witness's testimony mentions neither of these things. The testimony is bogus! Still, we don't know if she was dressed that way the night of the murder. She was, Your Honor. I saw her, and so did Detective Gumshoe. What do you say to that, Miss May? If that's even your real name. Rawr! I saw what I saw. I just didn't think of all the trifling little details. The court would like to remind you to please omit nothing in your testimony. Yeah, Phoenix's hair is a little bit special, but I guess you got a point. I'll be a good girl, I promise. Alright, well we got her to adjust her testimony. This is something. It's progress. It's progress. I did see everything. I did. The victim, the woman dodged the first attack and ran off to the right. Then the girl in the hippie clothes ran after her. And she hit her with that weapon. I saw it. I did. That clock, that kinda statue-y clock, the thinker, I think? Haha. Well, does that accuracy of my report not startle you? Tee-hee? Except that... Wait a second. Wait a second. Hold on a second. Now, we've discussed this in the previous case, but at looks, this thing is a statue. How did she know it's a clock? Again, always. So, she says she saw everything. The victim, the woman who dodged the first attack and ran off to the right, that part I might even agree with. Then the girl in the hippie clothes ran after her. And she hit her with that weapon. She says she saw it. That clock? We're gonna press here. A clock. Didn't this come up in another testimony? Yeah. Don't look so sour. You can't win them all. No, but I have a feeling I'm onto something. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be presenting the clock right now. It's dangerous to present evidence because you lose one of your little ticks. So this was the testimony in her own words. Alright. We could continue pressing to squeeze the truth right out of her. Alright, we're going to try the statue as evidence because I'm pretty sure that's what the evidence is here. How could you know this was a clock from across the alleyway, looking through into her room? Bam, let's do it. Miss May, what you said just now was quite revealing. Ooh, you'd like that, wouldn't you? Naughty Mr. Lawyer. You just said that this statue of the thinker was a clock, but there's no way of knowing that just by looking at it. Erp. Another person in much the same position as you recently called this a clock too. He was found guilty of murder. Order! Order in the court! Miss May, how can you explain how you know this was a clock? The witness saw the murder with her own eyes. That's all that's important here. Except if she's lying about her details of the testimony. The defense is trying to confuse the issue with trivial concerns. Ah, but it's not trivial. No, I won't. I object to the judges! But questions are all I have, Your Honor. And as you may recall, I've caught murderers with these questions before. Well, once. Objection sustained. You may continue to question the witness. Phew, that was pretty close, actually. If he stopped me there, the trial would be over. So, what happens now? What happens now is you answer my question. How did you know it was a clock? Because I heard it? Yeah, I heard it say the time. So, you've been to the law office of Fay & Co. No, hey, I didn't say that. Why would I go there? I heard it from my hotel room. Hee hee. The law offices of Fay & Co., where the murder took place, are very close to the hotel. She could easily have heard the clock. Maybe. Are you satisfied? Never! No, Your Honor! I can't give up now. I'm not satisfied because it couldn't have rung. Remember, we already got this. Remember? Remember? Bingity 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 boom. This one. So, we have evidence from before the murder. The clock isn't talking right now because she took the clockwork out. Alright, I got my evidence, I'm good. There's no way you could have heard it. Either one of these is fine. It's inconceivable that the clock in question rang. It's broken. Or empty. I mean, empty's probably right. That clock is missing its clockwork. How could you possibly... Just have a look as soon as you can. Oh. See anything interesting, Your Honor? It's as the defense says. This clock is missing its clockwork. It's quite empty. Mr. Wright, would you care to explain to the court the meaning of this? It's as you can see. The clock was empty. It couldn't have rung. Therefore, this witness is a big fat liar. Fat? Well, Miss May. Ah, the old finger. Tisk tisk. Edgeworth. Quite a show you've put on for us, Mr. Wright. He knew the clock was empty. Somehow, he knew. I'm afraid you've forgotten one thing, however. Indeed, the clock is empty, as you say. It can't ring. However, we must ask, when was the clockwork removed? If it was after the witness heard the clock, then there is no contradiction. But that would have been after the murder, after the statue was taken into evidence. So are you saying you guys took the clockwork out after you picked it up? Wouldn't that break the chain of evidence or something? Something, CSI, etc.? That's true. It's not really possible, but maybe. I guess she could have been killed and then someone took the clockwork out and left. There's not a lot of time. Like, that would require some amount of time to do, and, you know, Detective Gumshoe got there pretty quick. That is exactly what happened. Well, can you prove when the clockwork was removed? Indeed I can. Oh, impossible, of course. I have proof. That's right, Edgeworth. Wasn't it you who told me proof is everything? Well, I was listening. And now I'll show you the proof you like so much. The evidence that proves when the clockwork was removed is the cell phone. Oh, I checked it instead of presented it. Present it! Take that! Take a look at this! It's a very cute cell phone. Yes, thank you, Judge. Woohoo! You have a girly phone. Girly phone. Wait, this isn't my phone. Listen. This is the defendant's cell phone, and it contains a recording. A recording of a conversation she had with the victim on the day of the murder. Order! Oh, evil face Edgeworth. The defendant's cell phone? This wasn't brought to my attention? Perhaps Detective Gumshoe overlooked it. Good detective better remember he's up for evaluation soon. My heart goes out to you, Edgeworth. Not. Let's hear the conversation. Beep. So, you just want me to hold on to the thinker for you then? If you could. I should probably tell you, the clock isn't talking right now. Huh? It's not working. That's lame. Had to take the clockwork out. Sorry. September 5th, 9:27 a.m. About 12 hours before the murder. Beep. Your Honor, I think this recording makes it clear that the clockwork was already gone. And this was recorded in the morning, before the witness had even arrived at her hotel. Well, Miss May, would you care to explain this to the court? Just how did you know that weapon was a clock? Well, isn't it obvious? I saw the clock before. What store was that again? I go to so many. Oops, I forgot. Wink. So the witness had seen it before. That would make sense, except... Does the defense have any objections? I always have an objection. The witness claims she had seen it before, but this directly contradicts a piece of evidence already submitted to this court. Let's see it. Please produce this evidence. Well, it's the statue itself, because as far as we know, there's only 2 in existence, and they were made by our old buddy Larry Butts. It's simple. This clock was never in any store, ever. A friend of mine made that clock. Only 2 exist in the world, and the one that isn't here is in police custody. Now they've both killed people. Impossible, everything is sold in stores. Miss May, I think it's high time you went shopping for a better excuse. Oh? Excuses not on sale today. She's deteriorating. Or she's scary mode engage. What is it to you, porcupine head? That stupid clock doesn't matter, okay? She did it, and she should die for it. Die! Whoa, let's not get ahead of ourselves. This is a court of law, and the witness will remain calm. Ah. Oh. Oh, ho, ho, silly me. Did I, like, lose it? I guess I did. Tee-hee. Wink. The quartered theme is the best, yeah. Scary. Miss May, tell me, how did you know the weapon was a clock? Stop lying. Oh dear. Does the defense have an opinion on this behavior? Okay, this is it. Yes, Your Honor. Allow me to explain how I see the truth of the matter. Miss April May, you knew the weapon was a clock because you held it. Well, we know she had a wiretap in her room. Her name sounds very suspicious to a different Miss April O'Neil we may have heard of, who happened to be a reporter. Therefore, perhaps she is also investigating something going on at the Fay Law offices. And we noticed that the phone at the Fay Law offices had been tapped. Or perhaps tapped, because she had a wiretap. You know, it would make sense. So I'm gonna guess that she... which one do I want to click on? Has she touched it before? Well, she probably touched it. Miss May held that very clock in her hands. When was this? When she used it to strike the victim. When else? This is a bit of a stretch, but let's just roll with it. It's just like that creepy salesman guy. What is the meaning of this? April May, you killed me, Fay, I say. Like I said, slightly stretchy. And when you struck, the force of the impact made the... Wait a second. It was... No, it couldn't do that. Phoenix, stop! Stop it! Ah, he took the wrong line. You truly are a work of art, Mr. Phoenix Wright. What? What's this supposed to mean? It was you who just proved the thinker was empty. Yeah, I definitely did that. Of course it wouldn't ring. What's more, the witness has a rock-solid alibi. Miss May, perhaps you could explain to the poor, misguided Mr. Wright. You were in the hotel at the time of the murder. She said she was alone, but maybe she'll change her story. It would be my pleasure. No way. Yes way. No way. Yes way. Didn't the murder take place at 9 at night? Gee, that's the exact time I ordered some room service from the hotel bellboy. Ah, funny how that matches up perfectly. I don't think it would have mattered, Defiant Pirate. We have to dig deeper still, either way. Edgeworth always does that. That's just, he always stops you. Incidentally, the bellboy corroborates the witness's story. Ergo, she was not at the crime scene. Rock solid. Alright, well, Phoenix doesn't know what's going on just yet. You've just made a serious accusation to a perfectly innocent woman. Sorry, Your Honor. That didn't go well. No. But if that's the case, then how did she know the thinker was a clock? Wait a second. Your Honor, I figured it out. There is one other way Miss April May could have known it was a clock. One way alone, and I have proof. Well, proof. Then the court will examine your proof, Mr. Wright. How did the witness know the thinker was a clock? Well, all we've got left was the wiretap that we found in Miss May's hotel room. Have a look at this. Ah! Angry face. I found this in Miss May's room. Please explain. Miss April May, you were tapping the victim, Miss Mia Fey's phone, were you not? Oh, angry? Your Honor, this is irrelevant. No. I'm not entirely sure it is. Objection overruled. Take that, Miles. You shut it. It troubles me that our witness was in possession of a wiretap. This is outrageous! Does the defense truly claim that the witness was tapping her phone? Absolutely. Even if that was the case, which it's not, you still have to prove one thing. Did the victim ever say that the weapon was a clock on the phone? Can you prove that? I think not. Oh yeah? I think I can. It's simple. What? It's like a Ninja Gaiden battle here. Here's my proof. Uh-oh. The proof that the victim said on the phone that the weapon was a clock is, was it in the records here? Hold on. So this was a phone call from Mia to Maya telling her that it's a clock. Take that! Evidence we've already used. We've seen that. Listen once more to the conversation and between the defendant and the victim. Well, we know what we're going for. It's a clock. It's made to look like the statue of the thinker, and it tells you the time. Miss April May, you used a wiretap to listen to this conversation. That's how you knew the thinker was a clock. Am I wrong? Your Honor, this is ridiculous. Your Honor, look at the witness's face. Does she seem amused to you? Perfect evidence. The defense demands an answer. Zer. Did you tap her phone? Miss May. Oh no. Shut up, all of you. What gives you the right? You lawyer. It's not fair. All of you ganging up on me like that. Oh, so I'm the bad girl. Is that it? Is that it? What? I mean, you know what you're going to get out of this one. That did it. The court's seen the real Miss April May now. Now to deal the final blow. Well, she does have an alibi for being in the hotel at the time of the murder. Pretty hard to press that. Let's see if we can figure out why she's wiretapping. Why did you tap her phone? Answer the question. Do I have to? Isn't this a murder trial? Isn't tippity tapping or irrelevant? Gosh, she's saying exactly what Edgeworth wants her to say. Miss May, you were tapping the victim's phone. I hardly call that irrelevant. While this court does not condone the defense's tone of speech, he has a point. Well, Miss May, do you have an explanation for the court? At the time of the murder, I was in my hotel room, getting room serviced. How could I have killed her? If you don't believe me, just ask the bellboy. Well, does the defense have anything to say? Come on, think of something. We have stressful music. I'm not sure which one I want to take down. Because the thing is, she didn't answer why she was wiretapping Mia's Fey's office. But the bellboy might be able to help us out. There's something suspicious there, and I'm going to get to the bottom of it. object to calling the bellboy. I object to your objecting. Because I hold that the wiretapping had nothing to do with the killing. However, if you agree to one condition, I'll consent to calling this witness. This is where this is incredibly unlike a real law court. A condition. If Miss April May's alibi is not called into question after you examine the bellboy, then you will recognize that Miss April May was not the killer. Thus, she is innocent. Therefore, you must accept the verdict of guilty. See, that's a stretch in logic. Just because this Miss April May is not the culprit does not mean that Maya is guilty. But we don't really have a lot of choice here. What? I better find something suspicious in that bellboy. We're just gonna bet it all on the bellboy. Otherwise, Maya's just automatically guilty for no reason. Just do it. Never give up. Never surrender. I've got nothing to lose except for everything. Understood. I accept your condition. Challenge accepted. You fell right into my trap card. Wait. Too bad. The court calls the hotel bellboy, who happens to be in the courtroom, to the stand. Alright, let's try bellboy. He certainly does look like a bellboy, and he brought some tea with him. Happy to be of service. Great. That tea set looks rather heavy, so without further ado, the witness may begin his testimony. Very good, sir. Very good. Miss May's room service. I am the head bellboy at the fine Gatewater Hotel, in business for 4 generations. I believe I received a call after 8 in the evening from our guest, Miss May. She asked for an iced coffee to be brought to her at 9 on the dot, sir. I brought it to her at precisely the requested time, of course. And I delivered the iced coffee to our guest, Miss May herself. I see. The defense may begin the cross-examination. I'm ready, I hope. Better not mess it up. Maya goes to jail if I can't prove that that Miss May was up to no good with the wiretap. Alright, Miss May's room service. I am the head bellboy at the fine Gatewater, not Watergate Hotel. In business for 4 generations, that's fine. I believe I received a call after 8 in the evening from our guest. Maybe you should convince me that you actually got that call. Are you sure it was Miss May on the phone? Sure. Absolutely, sir. How can you be so certain? I checked Miss May in personally, sir. Not only did I see her in all her stunning radiance, but I also heard her voice. And then I saw them, and I... The point being, I remembered her quite well, sir. Yes, what then? She asked for an iced coffee to be brought to her at 9 on the dot, sir. On the dot, you say? Yes, I confirmed that detail several times. She was watching a program on TV and wished to drink after she finished, sir. 9, the time of the murder. Very suspicious alibi. I brought it to her at precisely the requested time, of course. Hold it! Precisely 9, then. Precisely, exactly, and most definitely, sir, 9 p.m. How can you be so sure? Miss May was quite insistent that it be brought then. Oh, bellboy, tee-hee, I'd like iced coffee at exactly 9. Something like that, sir. Therefore, I knocked on her door at the crack of 9, sir. Why would she be so particular about that time? And I delivered the iced coffee to her guest, Miss May herself. You are sure it was Miss April May herself? Absolutely, sir. Absolutely? Yes, sir. As in, so very absolutely, sir. It's an endearing mannerism of mine. How come you're so very certain? Well, when I brought the room service, sir, the guest, sir, favored me with an embrasseur, sir. Embrasseur, is that French for embrace? It's French for kiss. But not a French kiss, sir. More of a peck on the cheek. Why would she have done that? I believe, perhaps, she was momentarily swayed by my prim demeanor, sir. It was a moment I shall never ever forget, sir. Sounds pretty fishy to me. I think our Miss May was up to something and wanted the bellboy to remember her. It's no good. There's nothing there. Is that it? Tisk tisk. Finally, you understand. This bellboy has absolutely no reason to lie. Now, if you have any decency, you will end this rather tedious cross-examination here. It was a bit tedious. The witness may leave the stand. I can't let this happen! Protest! Wait! Please wait. Does the defense have something to add? One last question. Let me ask one last question. Your Honor, I must object. This charade of justice has gone on long enough. Now, Mr. Edgeworth. Alright, Mr. Wright. I'll give you one more question. That's all. Okay. Gotta make it count. This is really it now. This is my last chance. What do I ask him about? So, the check-in is probably wrong, because he remembers her checking in. That proved that he knew her voice and her looks. Room service is about him checking in on her, and maybe we could prove that she wasn't watching across the hallway across the alleyway at the time, out the window basically. Or we could ask him about the bed making. We did notice the bed was made in the morning, but I don't think that's going to be very relevant. So let's go with room service. Tell me again about room service. Again, sir. At exactly 9, I delivered room service to Miss Mays in room 303. The guest had requested iced coffee. $18 was the charge, as I recall. $18? Doesn't that seem a bit expensive? Yes, well, iced coffee for 2, you know. And we don't skimp on the ice, sir. Wait a second. 2? What did he say? What did you say? Or rather, quite. Bellboy, tell us the truth now. Was someone else staying in Miss May's room? I object. That was objectionable. Objection overruled. The witness will answer the question. Yes. Why did you not mention this in your testimony? Well, sir, you didn't ask. Nice try. That's the sort of thing you're normally supposed to mention. Yes, quite. Indeed. It was the, good barrister there, Mr. Edgeworth, who... He asked me not to mention it if I wasn't specifically asked, sir. Oof! Take that, Edgeworth! You should be kicked out. No longer allowed to practice law. Miss April May checked into a twin room with a man. Correct? Yes, sir. Then, when you brought the room service, you didn't see that man in the room? That's right, sir. Your Honor, we have just learned of another person involved who may have been the murderer. In this new light, I hold that it's impossible to judge the defendant. You agree, Mr. Edgeworth? Who? Who is this other person? Simple. It was... Well, it's obviously the man with Miss May. The man who checked in with Miss May. Oof. Your Honor. As has been previously revealed, Miss April May was tapping the victim's phone, yet Miss May herself has an alibi at the time of the murder. However, that does not clear the man that was with her. The bellboy saw no one else in the room at the time of the murder. My, what a convenient little setup. But it's too late. Too late? I suppose you'd like it if it was too late, wouldn't you? After all, it was you who hid the presence of the other man from the court. Yeah. Upstart. Amateur. These accusations are ludicrous. Enough. The court acknowledges the defense's argument. I expect the prosecution and defense to look into this matter fully. Am I understood? Yes, Your Honor. This is all for the trial of May Fay for today. Court is adjourned. September 7th, 224, District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 1. Well, you're not off the hook yet, Maya, but we're doing alright. That's right, because I'm amazing. Really? I think I might be your newest fan. Nice! I was just doing my job, you know. Then again, that other attorney was pretty cool, too. No, don't you say it! The face of his, with his eyes wide. No, stop it, Maya. Edgeworth is not cool. He's not cool. So what happens with... Well, you're not cleared yet, actually. No. We need... The way court works in this world is you have to prove that someone else is the murderer to get your defendant cleared. It's not innocent till proven guilty, it's basically guilty until proven innocent. But I got a great lead. Yeah, the man with Miss May, he's the key. What happened to Miss May after that, anyway? I heard they arrested her. I guess she's learning her charms won't work everywhere. She's probably at the detention center now. I may have to go down there later. Anyway, this case is far from closed. I'm going to find out more about this man. Yeah, he's probably the one that killed your sister. Yeah, it can't be the bellboy music band, sorry. It has to be someone else. Mystery man. Don't worry, I'll find him by tomorrow. Yeah, no time to lose. I asked for a full record of April May's testimony. I thought it might come in handy during the trial tomorrow. But now that I have it, I'm not so sure. Most of her testimony was all lies. In fact, there's only one part that got left on the record. I don't know how much good this will do me at all now. Anyway, time to hit the pavement and do some investigating. Maya doesn't belong in that detention center, and it's up to me to get her free. To be continued. We'll keep going though, don't worry. Don't worry. We won't leave it at such a cliffhanger. But YouTube, you're gonna have to wait for tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.